Okay, I think you know where we are right now. We're on downtown Burlington's waterfront. We're in fact at the foot of College Street right now. And during the last several years and during the next several years, there's going to be a lot of discussion and a lot of activity taking place down here. The city's goal is to create a waterfront that can be enjoyed by all of its people. We think we have made some real progress during the last year. Let me just briefly summarize some of the activities that have taken place. For a start, the entire waterfront area, after a lot of debate over the last several years, was finally rezoned, and rezoned in such a way that I think it will protect the interest of the people of the city of Burlington indefinitely. Essentially, we are trying to make sure that there will be no development down here which will basically not allow all of our people to enjoy the waterfront. And that was a major landmark. In the southern part of the city, we have acquired from Mobil Oil Beach some 7 acres of beachfront. They were very generous and gave it to us as a gift. Those of you who have been to Perkins Pier lately will note that several oil tanks are down there, and the park space has been significantly expanded. We have new playground facilities there, and that's looking better than it's ever looked before. We've got significant new beachfront property in front of Northgate on the northern end of the city as a result of a swap with North Shore developers. And where I'm standing right now, which is at the foot of College Street, next year, by next year, you're going to see a very different area. Right here, out there in front of us there, we're going to be having the community boathouse. And as I think many viewers will recall, last March, the people of Burlington voted overwhelmingly for a $2.8 million bond issue, which enabled us to make significant improvements to Burlington's waterfront. For a start, it enabled us to do work to complete the bicycle path, and that in fact will be done by next summer, so that we will have a bicycle path running from the mouth of the Winooski all the way to South Burlington, and that's something we're proud of. A lot of people are enjoying that. And also, we're going to be able to build the community boathouse that I think many of us are very anxious to see, and that's going to be located right here at the foot of College Street. That is going to be built on a barge. So in fact, at some point in the future, if we want to move it, we can move it to another location. The barge was purchased in Galveston, Texas. We came here about a month ago. In fact, this week, the Board of Finance will be looking at 5 or 6 different designs for the boathouse, which will be built right on top of that barge. They'll be making a selection, I believe, this coming Monday. Work will begin immediately after that, and we hope and expect that that community boathouse will be ready for public use in the summertime. The goal of all of this activity, obviously, is to change the situation which we have here right now. We have much of the year. We have an extraordinary resource down here in Burlington's waterfront. Look across the lake, you see sunsets here that are spectacular. We have the potential to do something extraordinary. We haven't yet done it. We are making progress. More and more people are coming down to the bicycle path, coming down and using the bicycle path along the waterfront, using Perkins Pier. So we're making real progress, and I think the community boathouse will be a significant step forward. While we're on the waterfront, obviously, while we're down here, it's necessary to talk about the pollution of the lake and the work that we're doing on that. To people who have lived in Burlington or lived in this region for any length of time, they know that there has been a problem here which has existed for decades, and that is that when we have heavy rainfalls, when we have real downpours, our wastewater plants are unable to deal with the problem, and what we have is a combined sewer overflow problem in which the stormwater mixes with our sanitary waste, and it goes directly, with no treatment whatsoever, right into the lake. And last summer, as many people will recall, it was necessary for health reasons to close down our city beaches on a number of occasions. We have spent a considerable amount of time and energy negotiating with the state of Vermont to work out a financial arrangement by which once and for all this problem will be dealt with. What we have come up with is a $52 million plan, which in fact makes it the single largest, single most expensive and significant environmental protection program in the history of the state of Vermont. We are, as the legislature convenes in the next couple of weeks, we will be working as hard as we can to make certain that we have that the legislature approves this program. We see it as enormously significant, not just to Burlington, but to everybody who enjoys the lake. And my hope is that it will be passed. We have already lined up next year approximately $10 million worth of work in the old North End and the new North End in terms of sewer separation, and the rest of the work will proceed as quickly as we can, and we would hope that within 3 or 4 years, basically the problem of the lake pollution will be over with once and for all. And that's something that we'll all be very proud of. So I think in terms of the issues that are facing the state, that's probably the most important, and it affects obviously how we enjoy this lake. So to conclude the issue down here, we are making progress. Next year, at this particular location, you'll see this area very, very different, and we hope that next summer we'll be having hundreds, if not thousands, of people coming down, renting inexpensive rowboats and canoes and paddle boats, sailboats right down here. There is no place right now. If you're a family and you want to spend a Saturday or Sunday down on the waterfront, there is no place down here that you can rent boats inexpensively, and that will be the purpose. Also, during the winter time, as people perhaps do cross-country skiing along the bicycle path, this will be a place that people will be able to get some hot chocolate, warm up, and we look forward to that. So we think that in the last year, we have made some significant progress. Next year, I think you'll see some tangible results in terms of the completion of the bicycle path and the construction of the community boathouse.